Hey, high fives because it is my favorite time of the week. This is where we have an opportunity to chat about business, but today we are going to have a little bit of real talk. And my question for you today is if you ever feel like you're spinning your wheels. And by spinning your wheels, I just don't mean this like on today is asking you a question and wondering if you're constantly creating content and then you feel like no one is seeing it. Like it's either that you wonder, am I posting at the right time? Am I posting at the right platform? Am I actually doing it when I should be? Or is the algorithm out to get me? And let's just have a conversation and clear up the waters now. I wonder if you wonder there's a better way to make the most of your time. And I am here to tell you that there is. Because if there is one thing that I truly love is finding ways to maximize our time. And whatever you do with that extra time, if that is to practice yoga or play in a softball league or build more of your business or hang out with your family, whatever it is, my goal is for you to have a business that serves you and not you always be serving your business. So how then can we talk about this in a very small way? Well, I believe that repurposing is going to be a great way to work smarter and not harder. So repurposing is going to be to create one piece of content and post it on multiple platforms. So how then are we going to be focusing on what we need to repurpose the content that we want? So people say, Jasmine, it feels like I have to do 10,000 things on 10 different platforms. And my question then becomes, well, what would it look like for you to create a piece of content with the knowledge that it's not just going to be used once on Facebook or once on Instagram or once on YouTube? What would it look like if that content was recontextualized and shared elsewhere? So people will often say, but Jasmine, if I'm repurposing my content, will my audience see it? Will it get boring? Will it feel like rote? Like, why would somebody want to follow me on Instagram and on Facebook if I'm posting the same thing? And the answer is, let's get actually real around people's behavior around social media. So what studies and science has shown, well, studies, not science, but people platform hop, which means that when somebody is on a particular platform, let's just say they're on Instagram, and they're scrolling through Instagram. Well, they'll do a couple of the things that they like to do. If they really like to check out reels, they'll be watching reels or stories. Maybe they'll go through their feed, but they'll be there a certain amount of time before they hop to a different platform. Perhaps they go from Instagram to TikTok, or from Instagram they go to Facebook. So what happens is people are usually on social media around the same amount of time according to their daily schedule. So the thing that we want to focus on specifically from that is once you put out a post on your main source of platform, like your main account, right? Your favorite, let's just say it's Instagram. Let's say you put your content out on Instagram. Well, statistically, only 3 to 4% of your audience will actually see that particular post. So let's just use some very basic math. Let's say you have 1,000 followers on Instagram. Well, 3 to 4% of 1,000 followers is 30 to 40 people. So you put out a post on Instagram and on average, 30 to 40 people are going to see it. So what happens to the rest of the basically 960 people? What happens to them if they're not seeing your content? Well, if they missed that post on Instagram, perhaps they can find that post at a later point in time on Facebook. Now, what we want to do is we want to stagger our content. We don't want to put out the same content on all of your social platforms at once, because if people are platform hopping, if they're going from Instagram to TikTok or from Instagram to Facebook and you're posting the same content at the same time, there's a much higher likelihood of seeing the same content, which is something we don't want. But what we want to do is stagger the content. Post your content at different times to ensure that we're maximizing the amount of people who will be seeing that content, the same content, but on a different social platform. So if you stagger the content that you share, very few people will see it twice. I can't tell you how many times. I can't tell you, y'all, let's see, February 2020. my husband and I had the joy and honor of adopting a baby girl. Now, I did not do just one Instagram post or one Facebook post. I didn't even do like 5 Instagram posts or Facebook posts. I mean, I talked about it a lot. Like, my life had radically changed and we were waiting such a long time to make it happen. I cannot tell you how many people, like, weeks later, were like, what? You adopted a baby? Congratulations. So this just goes to show that we can stagger our content, sharing the exact same content, and people still will not see it because 3 to 4% of your audience is so small. So if I have convinced you that this is going to be a pretty strategic use of your time, why don't we talk about 3 steps to repurposing your content on all your different platforms? Step number 1, you want to select your pillar and repurposing platforms. So let's get everybody on the same page. On the inside of Social Curator, we teach a very specific methodology for working smarter, not harder, by repurposing our content. And we do this, like the very, very, very small nutshell version is what we call selecting a pillar platform. This means your pillar platform is where you're gonna spend most of your time. This is where most of your content creation actually exists. Your pillar platform is not the platform that you prefer to be on. It is where you think your dream customer is on. What platform is that? Now, there's no right or wrong. If you think that your dream customer is spending a lot of time on Pinterest, go on in Pinterest or YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook or Instagram. That's your pillar platform. This is where you're going to be spending most of your content creation. This is where most of your time is going to go. And then what we want to do, we're going to talk about a pillar platform and then repurposing platforms. These are platforms that you're going to take that piece of content and put it on at a later point in time. For example, my pillar platform, it used to be Facebook, but over the years and over time, the client and user I wanted to attract for Social Curator, that user is on Instagram. My pillar platform is Instagram. My repurposing platforms are Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Pinterest, and TikTok. Those are all repurposing platforms. Now, I will take that piece of content and I will contextualize it for each of those platforms, but where I'm first and foremost thinking is I am creating content first and foremost for followers on Instagram. So once I picked your pillar content, for you it could be Facebook or YouTube, whatever. Once you pick your platform to say, this is what I'm creating for, what you're then going to want to do is plan for that pillar content. That's going to be the most important thing. Plan your pillar content each week. In fact, just yesterday on the inside of Social Curator, I had a 1-hour group coaching session. And if you're watching this in real time, we have another class. It's an irresistible sales strategy class. That's going to be happening at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard. Now, yesterday in that group coaching, one of the difficult things is I brought a business owner on, wildly successful. She's in like the health and wellness space. And she said, Jasmine, I just feel so overwhelmed with all the things I have to do on social media. And then we went through the methodology that we teach and that we practice on the inside of Social Curator. And then what she had said, at the end of it, we walked through all of what we need to do as business owners. And at the end of it, I was like, okay, so what are you going to do? And I'm thinking that it's going to be some big, massive shift in her business. And she just looked across from me and she said, Jasmine, you want to know what I don't do? I don't create a plan. So because I don't create a plan of how I'm going to market my business that week, I just feel overwhelmed because I always feel like I'm behind. But if I actually created a plan and I stuck to the plan, I wouldn't feel like I was behind. I would actually feel like I was empowered to do what I needed to do. Well, hot dang. So once she was able to create a plan, she's able then to use the Social Curator resources to deploy against a strategy, which is to create that pillar content. And what did we just say? I'm gonna repeat it for the people in the back. We're gonna plan that pillar content each week. Then after we've planned it, we are gonna share on the secondary platforms the following week. So for me, I am posting something on Instagram. And then the following week, I'm gonna be posting it on Facebook. Now, every so often, things that are date specific, like if I'm wishing my husband and my business partner JD happy birthday and I wish him happy birthday on Instagram, I'm not gonna post it the following week on Facebook because that just doesn't make sense. Every so often, for anything that is date or time specific, like off on Instagram, if I'm saying Merry Christmas or Happy Hanukkah, I'm not putting that the next week on Facebook. So Anything that might be date specific, I might be posting on both platforms, but generally speaking, 98% of the content I'm creating on Instagram and then repurposing on Facebook. Now, I'm going to share with you my repurposing formula, but on the Inside of Social Creator, we teach people how to develop their own repurposing formula, but mine is going to be 1 week and 4 hours later. So what does this actually mean? Well, if I'm going to be posting something on Instagram, so let me just share an example. If I am posting something on Instagram, let's just say 10 a.m. on Monday morning. Well, my repurposing strategy would then be for my secondary platform would be Facebook, and I'm going to post that at 2 p.m. on Monday the following week. So I wait a week and 4 hours. So why am I doing this with this specific strategy? Because I know that people platform hop. If somebody missed that post on Instagram previous Monday at 10 a.m., maybe there's a higher likelihood of them seeing that exact same post, but contextualized for Facebook. I never just copy and paste on Facebook, because there are things on Instagram, like I'll put an @ mention or maybe a hashtag, or maybe make a reference to Instagram that just doesn't make sense on the context of Facebook. So what I'll do is I'll take that Instagram post, I'll keep most of it the same, contextualize it for Facebook, removing @ mentions, hashtags, or geotags, or anything that I think would make it not feel like it's native to Facebook, and post it a week and 4 hours later. So let me know if you're following along. If you have any questions, I literally pop in every week because I just want to have questions. I want to help business owners. I want to normalize what it means to do the nitty gritty of the not so glamorous marketing of your business. But wait, there's more. I sound like there is, what is this, like a QVC? Yeah. What if I were to tell you that I'm going to walk you through the process of creating one piece of content and turning it into 10 pieces of content? Now, the reason why I'm going to make this big, bold, lofty statement is because I really do believe that we have this skill set to work smarter, not harder. But many of us, like myself, I didn't know what was possible until I started creating these systems, and still I started doing it again and again and again. I was like, wait a minute, this could absolutely be taught. But because we only have like about 20 minutes with each other, and I want you to have a step-by-step methodology, you can download. It is a free guide, jasminestar.com/repurpose. This actually walks you through how I take one piece of content and then distribute it 10 different ways. Like, really, friends, this is how I can be on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Pinterest. I'm blogging. Shout out to my YouTube peeps. Like, this is what I'm still trying to do. And also shout out to the Jasmine Star Show, which is a podcast. And yes, you will see how I'm creating content and using it on all of these different platforms. But now, enough about me and my methodology. I want to make sure and drive home the point that you feel good, you feel confident in knowing exactly what you want to do. Let's dive into a little bit of Q&A. All right. Okay, so Kathy Penn Smith, do you use the same pictures? By and large, yes. So for instance, there are some things that aren't exactly repurposable, right? Like when I go live on Instagram, I am not repurposing that live on Instagram to YouTube or to Facebook, because it doesn't make sense. Like when you're recording it, it's recording as a vertical video. And when you put a vertical video on Facebook, it just doesn't perform as well because it doesn't feel native to the platform. So what I'll do is I'm going live. So I'm going live on Facebook at this time of this recording. I will then strip this video and put it out on YouTube, adding a timestamp to YouTube so that if people are searching specifically for how to repurpose content, how to work smarter, not harder, things of that nature, it'll show up in the YouTube search engine. And then if I feel like this video actually struck a nerve, and I do think that it really like hones them down specifically for the entrepreneurs, the self-driven entrepreneurs, small business owner entrepreneurs, I might take this video and then upload it to LinkedIn. Do I do that every single time? No, but do we test the strategy? Absolutely. So I'm taking one piece of content, this particular video, putting it on YouTube, putting it out on LinkedIn, and I'm adding notes for each of them to contextualize for the viewer. Light bulb moment, Kathy Penn Smith. Makes sense. I have a Facebook set up to automatically post at the same time. I guess I shouldn't. Well, here's the thing, Kathy. Nobody's saying you're doing it wrong. I'm just inviting you to test it, doing it differently to see if you get better results. I love a good test, y'all. Testing saves us time and energy and makes us more confident with our approach. Angela, do you think we should not allow Instagram stories to connect to Facebook stories? Angela, again, there's not a right or wrong, but people absolutely know that when they're on Facebook, they know they're watching an Instagram story because there are some features and @mentions that do not work on Facebook stories. So let's just say I do an Instagram story and I say, oh, I'm talking to my friend Angela McKay, and then I put @Angela McKay, and that connects to you on Instagram. If I repurpose that to Facebook and somebody tries clicking on the @Angela McKay, it doesn't work. So then people are like, what's the point of me watching? It's kind of like eavesdropping on a conversation because you can't participate with the conversation. However, and this is a big however, if you would still like to share your Instagram stories to Facebook, what I would recommend, now it's going an extra step, but at least it makes sense on the platform. I would download that story from Instagram where I'm like, hey, shout out to Angela McKay. I would download that story from Instagram, and then I would manually upload it to Facebook, and then wherever I did an @mention to Angela McKay on Instagram, I would do the @mention that so that it's native to Facebook, so that if somebody clicks on that link, they'll be taken to Angela McKay's Facebook page. Like, it's about us being able, so for instance, like on Instagram, they have engagement drivers that work on Instagram, but not on Facebook. So oftentimes I love playing games like quizzes or like a yes or no poll or like the slider. If I include a quiz on my Instagram story and then I automatically share that Instagram story to Facebook, the quiz doesn't work on Facebook. So then people on Facebook are like, I want to play this quiz, but it doesn't work for me. So it's kind of just like, you're not going to get any engagement on Facebook if people feel like you're actually not on Facebook talking to them, but you're on Instagram talking to those people, and anybody here, oh, that's just the leftovers. I don't like that vibe. I don't really think it's a good brand extension. However, if you're getting great results, please don't think that what I say is like sacrosanct and like Bible. I'm just saying, like, think about how the person on Facebook feels watching a story that was never intended for them. I think that what a brand is what somebody feels or says about your business. So in my mind, I really want to protect every division of the brand. And by protecting the brand, you're creating content that's specific to that platform. Brandon Perez, my wife just wants to use pretty pictures on her photography page. She doesn't think that people will be attracted to a page cluttered with reels and quotes. How would you address that? Well, let me just say, Brandon, I'm not getting paid enough to be your marriage therapist. Okay. No, I'm just kidding. Listen, I'm going to say something to you and your wife, and you could just send this video. You could tag her here in this post. So, Mrs. Perez, while I love that you are very interested in curating the aesthetic of your feed, I'm going to invite you to test doing it differently to see if you get different results. Now, do I think that your feed needs to look cluttered with inspirational quotes or reels? I think that's just a simple mindset shift. Because you could absolutely curate your feed with an inspirational quote that looks on brand to Brandon Perez photography. I also think that if you were to create a reel, you can upload a cover photo and make it look just as good as any of your other photos. I think that it's easier to tell ourselves a story that we must make it look a certain way and we must do what we've always done. But I have to remind you that if you do what you've always done, you're only ever going to get the same result. So if you like where you're at with your Instagram followers or your Facebook page and you don't really want to grow, then you do you. Keep on repeating the process because the results are going to be the same. But if you are aspirational and you want to grow and you want to expand and you want to build your brand beyond just your zip code, then I'm going to encourage you that if you bet on testing content, you're going to feel a heck of a lot more confident in the decisions you make. Even if, Mrs. Perez, you decide in 2022 that this Jasmine girl was all wrong, that you saw your engagement drop because you stepped away from your beautiful photos. Here's the thing. If that happens, I still think that that's the most beautiful thing. Why? Because you tested it and your audience proved the direction you should go. That's it. Brandon, next time you see me, you're going to give me a little you're gonna buy me a little beverage, and you're gonna say thank you. Thank you for interceding in our business and marriage. Okay, Melinda Hunter. Jasmine, how do you use a particular program to help creating your content to post on certain days of the week? Basically, planning content for the week or the month to automate to different platforms. Okay, so I'm going to answer this question in two ways. I'm 50% holy and 50% hood. Okay, so 50% is going to be the nice answer, and then 50% is going to be the hood, straight out, no punches pulled. I'm going to start with the 50% holy answer, so just in case you don't want to hear me deal it to you straight, you could just mute this for the following 30 seconds. Here's the holy answer. You can use platforms that help you automate your posts. You will need a business account or a creator account to automatically post. So you can use things like Planoly or Plan to get it out and automate that. You can actually, and if you want to automate your post on Facebook, I do not recommend automating it through any other platform. Use the Facebook scheduler if you want to schedule to Facebook. Period, the end. Nothing beats it. That's the 50% holy. Now here's the 50% hood. Social media and any form of marketing is not choosing a blue pill or a red pill. It's not just something you mark off on a box and being like, I did it, move on with my day. It is something that's nuanced and massaged. It's as if what we want to do as business owners is feed our accounts a bowl of oatmeal and say, I kept you alive. But you would never do that to one of your kids. You would never just give them a bowl of oatmeal in the morning and be like, when you wake up, the bowl is there for you. And then do you assume that your 6-year-old is just gonna waddle up to the oatmeal, eat the oatmeal, and then be okay for the rest of the day? Of course not. You want to make sure that your kid is eating the oatmeal, or at least packing them a PB&J, or having a conversation with them, or making sure that they're feeling cultivated and you're seeing what they're doing. What we do with social media is not like a flip to be switched. Like, if I schedule them all and then I could just go on with my merry way. Like, I'm kind of, to the best of your ability, try to build in your social media marketing into your daily workflow so that you are cultivating the conversations. I just want to be very, very, very clear that I am making sure that I'm posting on Instagram in real time, not because I'm like very productive or like I got a system. It's because it's more effective. It's more effective for me to post on Instagram like I did this morning, and then immediately I go over to my direct messages and I'm trying to direct message, or I'm sending like likes and comments, or I'm leaving likes and comments on different accounts, and then I go back to my account and only one person in my 20 minutes left a comment on my Instagram account. And you want to know what? I immediately responded. Why? I want to make sure that people who leave early comments are rewarded with a person, not rewarded, but like engaged with a personal comment from myself to make sure that we are keeping it going. So the next time they see a post, they're more likely to leave a comment. Why? Because they know that we're having conversations. So do I think that automating is like the way to go? If it is your only option, then do that option, because showing up, even if it's scheduled, is better than not showing up at all. However, if you're not getting the results that you want, my advice would be for you to systematize the way you show up on those platforms to ensure that you're expending the most amount of cognizant, viable energy to cultivate those relationships. 50% holy, 50% hood. Okay. Let's go. Okay, now we're getting next level. Zach Spuckler. Should we do Reels to TikTok or TikTok to Reels? That is the hot question. I will tell you that I am currently experimenting with this, but what I try to do is do 50% on each. Because what happens is, and this is a total, like, excuse me, like, let me take off my hat. I'm gonna put on a little tin foil hat right about now. I believe that when you take out your video from TikTok and upload it to Reels, Instagram knows. And I think that when you take your Reels off Instagram and you upload it to TikTok, TikTok knows. Even if you take it through a third party to strip the logo. So like, for instance, I can create something on TikTok and I can take it from TikTok. I can go to Musically Down, MUSICALLYDOWN, go to Musically Down. I can import that URL and I'll get an MP4 file. And then I could upload that into Instagram so that it doesn't appear with the TikTok logo on it. I could absolutely do that, and I still know that Instagram knows that it was created on TikTok. Like, I know that TikTok knows when you use their editing features within the app to put a video out. So you're rewarded for using the tools on the platform. Again, this is just my tinfoil hat theory, but like, I'm posting TikToks and Reels 3 to 4 times a week. I'm watching the trends. I'm seeing what's going on. And this is just like a little bit of insider. And somebody might be saying, Jasmine, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. That's fine. I hope I'm wrong. I genuinely hope I'm wrong. The jury's out, but for right now, I'm splitting between the two. So if I'm posting like 4 Reels a week, I will create 2 on TikTok, export them and upload them to Reels. I'll create 2 on Reels, export them, remove the logo, and then upload them to TikTok. Okay, on that note, I'm going to be doing an irresistible sales training on the inside of the Social Curator group. I'll see y'all there. I'm going from one thing to another, why we want to work smarter, not harder. Hey, all right, friends, have a great